I'm not answering that. That's a clown question, bro.
Next. Mike, why are you in such a bad mood? What do you care?
What else do you want to know?
Next question.
Next question.
Next question.
Next question.
Next question.
I'm not going to answer any questions from you.
Answer my question! The question, jerk!
We never tire of that open for this man, Dominique Foxworth, who must now stand up under the questioning. I will ask you a series of provocative, hard-hitting questions, and here they come. Number one, which quarterback has been the most disappointing in the entire NFL this season?
I think I'm going to have to go with Tua. Like, I think why he's disappointing is because he shows such good plays sometimes, and then he makes really terrible, inexcusable plays. Last week, he was really good, and then he made some turnovers that really cost him the game. And so no one's going to be perfect. The mistakes are fine. You're going to make mistakes, but don't turn it over in the red zone. Don't throw it up with your eyes closed doing jump passes when you're nervous. Like, those are Lamar Jackson plays. You're not at Lamar Jackson level quite yet, and it wouldn't be so disappointing if it wasn't for the fact that we felt like this was the time for them. Like, their roster is well built, and he shows those glimpses where it seems like he can anticipate, he can target well, he does everything well, and then it's like, what are you thinking?
He was one of the most touted rookies coming into the NFL ever.
Yeah.
We're not suggesting it's done, but it has not started well. All right, next. Which rookie quarterback will have the most long-term success?
Okay, so this boils down to a question of talent versus circumstance. So I think I'm going to go with Matt Jones, because I think it's about the circumstance. I think that Trevor Lawrence is still the most talented quarterback rookie quarterback we have, but his situation in Jacksonville is bad. The situation in New England is not perfect, but it seems like they've made a decision before this season started that they are going to bring Matt Jones along slowly and let him develop and play for the future. And it seems like he's meeting every checkpoint, and they're not pushing him out there asking him to do more than he's capable of. And I think that is a recipe for long-term success. And I mean, New England.
Well, it goes to show you that's our draft night. Remember that the guy who was 5th out of 5 in the order in which they were taken in the first round might have definitively wound up in the best situation, and as a result, might wind up having the best career. All right, interesting stuff there. In the meantime, one more. Your guy Dak. Which quarterback would you take ahead of Dak Prescott right now?
Nobody. That's simple. We can save some time on this segment. We can move on. The question wasn't, are there better quarterbacks than Dak? The answer to that is yes. What quarterback would I take over cousin Dak Prescott? Not nobody, never. That's my guy.
Here's actually why I think it's such a provocative question. Because there was a moment in time in which we would have said, well, it's Patrick Mahomes and then everybody else. I don't know if we live in that world anymore. I'm not writing off Mahomes by any means, but if you wanted to say right now Dak is playing as well as anyone and sets up to continue to do so, you wouldn't get an argument out of me.
Yeah, and when I'm considering this question, there's names like Herbert that jump into my mind, and obviously if we're talking one game, think about Tom Brady and guys like that, Aaron Rodgers. There are a lot of guys, Kyler Murray, but you're right. For the past 2 seasons, it feels like the conversation was Patrick Mahomes and everyone else. Now Patrick Mahomes is in the mix with them, and Dak Prescott is up there with all of those guys.
He might be the everyone else. Now, speaking of Dak, fan yesterday and gave this update on his quarterback.
I feel very good about where Dak is right now. Wise and pound foolish, and make sure you feel good about his ability not to re-injure, and that'll be the key. So much of that will depend upon how he feels. You certainly would measure how to play a game with the idea in mind that it could give you a lot of games in the future.
All right, penny wise, pound foolish, has the calf. They play Sunday night against Minnesota coming off of a bye. Should they play him if it doesn't feel 100%?
Yeah, they should. Yeah. Because really, what did we talk about all last year? What is this team without Dak? We saw, and it wasn't cute. So, I mean, let's just keep it 100, right? So I feel like after Dak playing, 5 games last year, there's no way that you're going to be able to tell him, unless his leg is falling off, hey, you need to sit down because we're in the NFC East. Yeah. Oh, we can afford to lose games like that. No.
David, what do you think? If he's not 100%, should they play him Sunday night?
I hear what you're saying, but yeah, let's just keep re-injuring it, and then let's let it linger all season, and then have him worthless for me the rest of the season. I think that's the other side of the coin. he can't be incapacitated, because here's the thing about a calf. Calf is an endurance muscle. If you're back there and it's not strong enough and it hasn't been worked at all, like, you're going to pull it again and you're going to say, okay, we're still in the NFC and now we're going to have to shut him down. So I think they'll have to be smart with it. They did a great job with his shoulder in the preseason, and everybody was flipping out and talking about it. But I think you definitely in that division have to be smart, and sitting him for a game if he's not, 100% is not the end of the world, especially if you're in that division.
Nick, we talked about this on my radio show yesterday, you and I, that, in the NFL, you don't generally tend to give away a game. It's not 82 like basketball or 162 like baseball. But they do play in that division, and they might have the luxury of a little bit of a cushion, and you might not want to take a chance that this turns into a month or more.
Yeah, so I understand the concept behind it. You're trying to increase your probability of winning by having a healthy quarterback, because you don't want to put him out there because you think there's a higher chance that he'll get hurt right now. But there's a higher chance that you'll win a Super Bowl if you get that first round bye.
Right.
We're playing for that first round bye. You're not playing to win the division. Like, winning division is fine. That'll get you in the playoffs. You're playing for that first round bye because we all know how much easier it is to win 2 games and find yourself in the Super Bowl than win 3 games to find yourself in the Super Bowl. Dak's absolutely going to play. I don't know why we have to pretend like it's a question, because we're acting like Dak didn't finish the game. He got carted off. Dak Prescott threw a game-winning touchdown. That was his last play. That was his last play. So let's chill out. He's not in jeopardy.
But I think he got hurt on that play. Like, he got hurt literally on the last. He didn't have a chance to find out whether he can continue to play, and he left in a walking boot.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, this is not a team that's. I understand the value of the bye, but this is not a team whose goals are winning the NFC East.
Exactly.
You are within your rights to be thinking Super Bowl in Dallas right now. You need the most you can get out of him over the entire season.
I agree with you, and that's why I said it. I understand the question. You're weighing the risk of re-injuring it or furthering or injuring something else right now versus the risk of having to play an extra game. And so I think you play now, you beat a team that you should beat, and potentially skip that first round of the playoffs.
Go.
This also ain't the same team from a year ago. You can't compare last year to this year. Last year's offensive line wasn't even close to this level. The defense wasn't close to this level. So the backup quarterback had 0% chance. That's not the case this year. This defense is so much more improved. They can run the football consistently this year with great offensive line play. So I don't think it's apples to apples a year ago.
It certainly is. Can Cooper Rush beat the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday night? That really is the question. We might get the answer. I think all signs, that's a great phrase. All signs point towards him playing this week. I don't know why we cut to me like that.
It was getting distracting.
I don't have anything profound to say.
It was too much handsome for him. They had to cut away from all this handsome.
The point is, I think we're going to see Dak, and I think we probably shouldn't. In the meantime, let's get to the other question. How about them Browns? Is it possible it doesn't matter who starts at QB in Cleveland?